Buddhaṃ 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 Vande Dhammam 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 Vande Sangham 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 Vande Buddhaṃ Dhammam Sangham Vande. Homage to the Blessed One, homage to the teachings of the Buddha, homage to the Sangha, homage to the Triple Gem. Paññānaranam ratanam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear friends in Dhamma, today we are going to discuss the most important topic in Buddhism, that wisdom. Buddha says, Paññānaranam ratanam. Wisdom is the priceless gem of men. Paññāya parisuddhati. Wisdom purifies one's mind. Natti paññā sama abha. There is no any other light like wisdom. Wisdom is highly praised and appreciated in Buddhism. The reason is that wisdom is the opposite of ignorance, which is the most severe defilement that brings us suffering. The more we develop wisdom, the more we reduce delusion or ignorance. The more we reduce delusion, the more we overcome suffering. That is why wisdom is highly praised and appreciated in Buddhism. And, as we mentioned before, the main purpose of everyone is happiness. We do everything in the name of happiness. Happiness. For the happiness, we always try to develop and spend and acquire some material things. We always try to earn some material things in the name of happiness. But the material things are not the reasons of happiness. Happiness completely depends on how far we have purified our mind from negative thoughts. All the negative thoughts can be included into three. Especially, they are greed and anger. The more we have eradicated greed and anger, the more we have overcome suffering. Reducing greed and anger depends on reducing delusion or ignorance. Reducing delusion or ignorance depends on how far we have developed samatha and vipassana, concentration and wisdom. Samatha and vipassana, concentration and wisdom. Developing concentration and wisdom depends on the good association, noble association, kalyana mitta. Kalyana mitta. When we meet a kalyana mitta, actually we receive the good association as the result of previous good actions, previous karma. When we meet good association, we should need some qualities at the moment. What they are? I ask you that very close facts. when we meet good association, we should be wise. We should be gently spoken. We should be honest. Even though we are not generous, if we have these three qualities, we can receive the results of good friends. Even though we are generous, if we are not wise, if we are not gently spoken, if we are not honest, we miss good association. We can see a lot of people in the world, they are so generous, but they have no these qualities. Wisdom, honesty, and good attention. That is why, when you listen to Karanimetta Sutta, the discourse of metta, actually generosity is not there. Generosity is not a quality in the Karanimetta Sutta, but honesty, ujucha, and suvachocha, gently spoken, nipakocha, be wise. These are the qualities they are in Metta Sutta. Buddha says, he who wishes to attain the bliss of Nibbana, he who wishes to attain the peace of mind, should have these qualities. There are 14 or 15 qualities we can see in the Metta Sutta, the Karanimetta Sutta. All of these qualities can be included into three. They are honesty, wisdom, and gently spoken. These three things are very important. When Angulimala met the Buddha, he was not generous. Even he hadn't moral conduct. But he was wise. He was gently spoken. He was intelligent. He was wise. He was honest. Therefore, he could receive the results from the Buddha, from the good association. Therefore, this has an order. If we need happiness, we have to purify our mind from negative thoughts, greed, anger, and delusion. If we want to overcome these negative thoughts, we have to practice samatha and vipassana. Buddha says, as an intelligent person, the highest qualities that we can develop are samatha and vipassana. And when we are going to practice these qualities, we should have good guidance from noble association, good association. And when we meet good association as the result of our previous actions, we should be wise. If we are not wise, we are unable to recognize them. We think that they are common people. And also, sometimes we meet good friends, but we are not ready to listen to them. We are always ready to say what we know. We want to say our qualifications, our relationships, when we meet some good friends. But we should be wise. We should be gently spoken, what they say. Buddha says, Sakachaya Panya Vedithabbo. We should recognize wisdom through discussion. Through discussion, we should recognize one's wisdom. Even though some people are very good behavior that they have, actually their wisdom is not high. Even some bad people can behave as ascetic people, but their mind is not good. Therefore, Buddhism always emphasizes the importance of having wisdom. We understand one's wisdom through discussing. That is why when some speaker meets you, then they ask some questions from you that where you are in. They need to know that where you are in. Even though you have a lot of good qualifications in education, even though you have good behaviors, actually they don't recognize that you are a perfect person. They realize you through discussing. Here, this is the place that we should be aware of. And here, Buddha says, there are 4 lights in this world. The light of moon. There are 4 lights in this world. One of them is Chandaloka, the light of the moon. Suryaloka, the light of the sun. Agdaloka, the light of fire. And Panyaloka, the light of wisdom. Among them, Panyaloka, or the light of wisdom, is highly appreciated, praised in Buddhism. Because wisdom is the main thing that decides our wisdom, our enlightenment, our deliverance, our liberation. And Buddha says, when we develop our mind or wisdom, there are 4 qualities, 4 facts that are needed in. They are in Panya Sutta, the discourse of development of wisdom. Buddha says there are 4 things that we need to develop our wisdom. They are Sappurisa Sanseva, good association, and Saddhamma Savana, listen to Dhamma, Yoniso Manasikara, wise reflection, and practice Patipatti, Patipada. These 4 things are very important. From the beginning to end, on the path of liberation, we should develop these 4 things again and again until we achieve the Nibbana. And here, we should understand what wisdom is. According to Buddhism, when we are going to understand wisdom, it is very important to understand the opposite of wisdom, delusion or ignorance. What is the ignorance or delusion? What is the delusion? Unknowing of what happens to the world and what happens to our spiritual world. When we see what happens to us, what is the nature of this experience? When we experience something, we always think that there was something before we experience, and also after we experience, it remains, we think. It is true, but only in the conventional truth. Here we are going to understand the conventional, not only the conventional truth, but the absolute truth, the ultimate truth. When we are going to understand the ultimate truth, we should understand what happens to our life. What is the nature of the experience that we receive through our 6 senses? When we experience something, we think that we experience something as it is. And also we think that if I experience this wall can be understood by everyone at the same way what I experienced. This is a wall to my world. It is not for everyone. This is the Buddha to my world. He is not the Buddha to everyone. And also, this is the Buddha to me at this moment. Next moment, if I recognize this as another person, then he is not Buddha to even me. And now, when I think about you with your good qualities, I think I am pleasant with you. Next, I think about your some misbehaviors. then I think that you are a bad person. When you think your children's good behavior, you are happy. Suddenly, you think they are misbehaviors, then you may get upset. And this is the nature of our experiences. But unfortunately, because of our ignorance, because of our delusion, we think that if I experience something, it is certain, it is permanent for me, and it can be realized by everyone as I experience. Actually, that is not correct. By understanding wisdom, we are going to understand the experience as it is. And especially, when we are going to understand wisdom, according to Buddhism, it cannot be divided into two. As we always mentioned you, that one of them is the karmic law, understanding the karmic law. The very first stage of wisdom is the karmic law, understanding the karmic law. Whatever we do with intention as volitional actions, physically, verbally or mentally, we will have the same results according to our evolution. And also, Buddha says, if someone does something with a wicked mind, physically, verbally or mentally, negative results will follow him. And also, if we do something with a pure mind, physically, verbally or mentally, good results, fruitful results follow us. This is the nature of the karmic law. With the understanding of the karmic law, at the first level, we should develop good deeds to the maximum level. According to Buddhism, there are three meritorious deeds. They are dana, sila and bhavana. Generosity, virtue and meditation. When you practice generosity, you always practice generosity as a little thing. You always think the big thing should be me, in me, then a little thing I will offer to others. But if you need very highest results, you should be ready to offer everything that you have at the moment. It doesn't mean that you should give up everything, but the thing is, you should have an attitude that I am ready to offer everything what I have at the moment. If you don't have this attitude, be sure when you die, you are ready to come back to the same place. If you have this ability, if you have this attitude, you are like a bird. You are ready to go to upper level. And also, if you have 100, you should be ready to offer everything that you have at the moment. It means your mind is very high. But not only material things that we should be ready to offer, but we should give the good advice, Dhamma, Sabbadanan Dhammadanan Jinati. The gift of Dhamma excels all other gifts. That is the highest gift Buddhism has explained. Next one is Sila. Sila means virtue or moral conduct, discipline in our speech and behavior. The foundation of moral conduct in Buddhism is that 5 precepts. Abstaining from taking life, abstaining from stealing, abstaining from sexual misconduct, abstaining from false speech, abstaining from intoxicating drinks and drugs. This is a very powerful merit. If we practice these five precepts, it means we have an assurance that we never fall into hell. That is a real guarantee. assurance, safety, insurance that we have. It is better than life insurance. And Buddha has explained very clearly, he who practices 5 precepts never falls into hell. That is the highest assurance. And next one, bhavana, meditation, practicing one of the meditation techniques in samatha, in the primary level, in the heavenly path, in the conventional truth. In this level, we believe the conventional truth. We think there is a world. We live in this world. Before we were born in this world, there was a world. After we die, the world will remain. With this intention, we practice good deeds. We can receive a blissful life hereafter, but still we are in the samsaric circle. If we practice any kind of meditation techniques according to Buddhism, there are 40 meditation samatha techniques. Among them, any of them, if you can practice, such as loving kindness meditation, contemplating on 4 fundamental elements, breathing meditation, recollection death, those are the meditation techniques that we can practice to develop our concentration. Whenever we concentrate our mind using these techniques, it means we have overcome 5 hindrances. Pancha Nivarana. What are the Pancha Nivarana? Kamachanda, sensual pleasure, Vyapada, ill will, Thinamidda, sloth and torpor, Uddhacha, restlessness and scruples, Vichikicha, skeptical doubt. These are the hindrances which disturb our peace of mind. Whenever we practice some kind of meditation techniques as samatha bhavana, at the moment we have overcome these negative thoughts, hindrances from our mind. It means we are happier than heavenly beings. Whenever we have concentrated our mind in the samatha bhavana, at the moment we are in the higher realm than human realms and heavenly realms. Our mind is in the Brahma realm. Physically we are in the human realm, but mentally we are in the Brahma realm. Because we have no defilements, no hindrances, nivarana at the moment. Buddha advises us that if you need to experience of divine beings, Brahma beings, you have to practice samatha bhavana. And with the understanding of the karmic law, we should practice dana sila bhavana to the maximum level. And as the result of these good deeds, adinota komada kiyanne? Adinota pull. It is like treating or adding some things to the root of the tree. If you need something from the branches of a river, as nuts, flowers or leaves, you are unable to catch or pull something from the branches. What you can do is that you can add some fertilizer, soil and water to the root of the tree. Then automatically, naturally, fruits come from the branches. Like that. The karmic roots that you do as dana sila bhavana are like that. Soil, fertilizer, water and sunlight. You don't need to wish that I need these things. You should try to develop these meritorious deeds to the maximum level then you can be happy what you have. You should be satisfied what you have received. Because you have added everything to the mind, then fruits will come from your life. Then we should be happy what we have. You have only one son, you should be satisfied with one son. You should have only one hand, you should be happy with one hand. Yeah? If you lost your finger, you should be happy. I had to lost my full hand. Because of my merits, I lost only my one finger. We should have positive thoughts. Because we have done everything maximally. The results are only this for me. But some people, they think positively without doing anything. It is not good. They are lazy. They are very greedy. But they think that enough that they have. It is not the real thing. But doing something maximally, then we can be happy. That is the Buddhist way. We should do our good activities as meritorious deeds to the maximum level, and also we should be satisfied what we earned, what we have. When you go out from your home, sometimes you have some problem. Your car may hit the fence. Then you should not be unhappy. That you should think that if I go to the road, street, I would have an accident. Because of my good activities, I control it. Then like that we can think positively, doing good activities. And also, even though we don't have some mistakes in our life, we have some the most severe challenges, problems, issues in our life. But they are. Yes, very good. Buddha recognized when he attained enlightenment, he realized that the most severe issues in our life, they are aging, death and rebirth. Even though we do a lot of meritorious deeds, we are unable to overcome these challenges, these issues in the mundane level with doing good activities. Here Buddha says, in this level we can practice atti bhikkhave kamma sukha sukham sukha vipakam. There are some actions which are white that cause white results. That's only in this level. But Buddha has recognized, Buddha has proclaimed another action that atti bhikkhave kammam akanna sukham akanna sukha vipakam kammakkhayaya samvatati. There are some actions neither black nor white that cause neither black nor white results, that help us to overcome the karma, the sansaric circle. With the understanding of the dependent origination, we should develop these karmas. This is the place where we can develop our wisdom to the maximum level. Here, we should understand what happens to our world, what happens to our senses, what happens to the external objects, and what happens to five aggregates and nama rupa, mind and forms. Here, it is very important to understand our six senses. Eye, ear, nose, like that. These senses arise at the moment according to our present mental conditions, our ignorance, our desire, our karmic energy, and food. According to these reasons, I create my senses at the moment. When you look at something pleasant mind, you can see it as a pleasant thing. When you are so hungry, if I give something, you are very happy. But when you are full, if you are not hungry, if I give something, then you are not happy. The same food. Now you are happy with me. If I blame you, then you are not happy with me. I am the same person. This physical body is same. But your mental condition is different. Then your experience also different. And if we can understand this reality, we can see impermanence arising and ceasing of our five aggregates and external objects. Everything arises at the moment, they immediately ceases. When we reflect on this reality as impermanent, arising and ceasing at the moment, our mind doesn't depend on anything or anyone outside. As soon as we experience something, we suddenly look at inside. We reflect on impermanence of five aggregates. Then we are in equanimity. We have no attachment, even detachment. We are in equanimity. That is the place where we can become the supreme blessing. Buddha says, Puttas loka dhammehi chittang yassana kampati asokang virajang khemang ekam mangalamuttamam. Making an unshakable mind among the 8 worldly conditions, labha, gain and loss, yasa, honor and dishonor, prasansa ninda, praise and blame, sapaduk, happiness and misery. Among these 8 worldly conditions, we have equanimity, we have a balanced mind, we have an unshakable mind that nobody can disturb. And for that, little by little, we should go forward on this path. For wisdom, first of all, we should have good understanding what happens to our world, and especially we should understand the karmic law. When we practice good deeds in this life, we have some benefits, results. But there, ayuvanno sukham balam. In this immediate life, even though we will have a blissful life hereafter, but especially we receive some immediate results, visible results in this immediate life. They are ayu, longevity, one, good complexion, sukha, happiness, bala is strength. These results we receive throughout practicing good deeds in this life. Dana, sila and bhavana. Among them, there is another special benefit result that we receive. What is that? We meet good friends. That's the very important thing. For example, when you come to this temple, you can meet some good friends here. If you are wise, if you are honest, if you are gently spoken, you meet those persons. If you need to reduce your tanha, ditthi, mana, desire, self-view and conceit, then you meet the same people. If you need to increase these things, you will meet the same people. If you come to the temple to reduce your tanha, ditthi, mana, greed, conceit and self-view or own views, then you will meet the same people. But if you come to the temple to increase or criticize other people, then you meet the same people. You will lose, you will miss good friends, good association. That is why our intention is very important. And however, we should we should always practice good deeds in this life. The more we practice meritorious deeds, the more we are happy. And also, there are a lot of blessings we can see in this life. According to the Mangala Sutta, Dhanancha, Dhammacharyacha, those are the supreme blessings. Practicing generosity, living according to Dhamma, taking care of our parents, taking care of our children, gratitude, listening to Dhamma, discussing Dhamma. Actually, those are the supreme blessings. Arati virati papa, abstaining from evils, abstaining from intoxicating drinks is a supreme blessing. But normally people, common people, they may think that having some drink is a blessing. But Buddha says abstaining from intoxicating drinks and drugs is a supreme blessing. And actually, when we are on this path, we can see there is a supreme blessings. The interesting thing is that we always wish blessings from outside. But when our mind is pure, we generate blessings in our life by ourselves. We can get some help from outside, but we know very well we should create blessings inside by ourselves. It doesn't come from outside. When our mind is pure, automatically supreme blessings happen in our life. And however, Buddha has explained the highest blessings in our life. Arya Satchana Dassanam, understanding the Four Noble Truth, is a supreme blessing. And Nibbana Satchikiriyata, attaining enlightenment, is the supreme blessing. And finally, making an unshakable mind is the supreme blessing, the highest blessing. And equanimity is highly appreciated in Buddhism. In several stages we can practice it. And however, here it is very important to understand the significance of Samatha Bhavana. Buddha always emphasizes the importance of practicing Samatha Bhavana, such as loving kindness meditation. Actually, I think that loving kindness meditation is the foundation of all spiritual goals. When we have compassion and loving kindness, actually we are so generous. We don't criticize others. Even though we criticize someone, we do it kindly. And also our, a lot of qualities in our life change when we practice loving kindness. We can see the results in this immediate life. When we see some problems in the society, the main reason is that anger. They have no loving kindness. If people have loving kindness, actually they have overcome many problems in their lives. Not only that, they can develop their spirituality to the maximum level in the mundane level, in the samsaric circle. Therefore, we have to practice loving kindness again and again to the maximum level. As the result of practicing loving kindness to the maximum level in the mundane level, that when we meet a person, we think that person like my only son or daughter. If you have this highest attitude, actually we have overcome many problems in this life. That is why Buddha says, Yantam santam padang abhisamecce, he who wishes to attain the peace of mind should have to practice loving kindness. Until we start practicing loving kindness, actually we haven't started our spiritual journey. And also, we should understand a very special thing. I think last time I discussed this topic, Vijnanacharya, Ajnanacharya and Jnanacharya. There are three behaviors that we have in our life according to Patisambhida Magga, a book of the Khuddaka Nikaya, the minor book of Tripitaka. And there Buddha has explained There are three behaviors that we have. Our behavior. One of them is the behavior of consciousness. Vijnanacharya. Vijnanacharya means when we experience something in the first time, when we see something, when we hear something, very first experience is instant. That is neither wholesome or unwholesome. It is neutral. It is a result of our previous actions. It says as Vijnanacharya, the behavior of consciousness. It is instant. It arises and ceases. And also then, if we are unmindful, if we are ignorant, immediately the second behavior starts. That is the behavior of ignorance. Ajnanacharya, the behavior of ignorance. Even though we have knowledge about the world, if we are not mindful, we have ignorance. That is why mindfulness should be practiced as a best friend, as the field of our Father. Sometimes we have understanding, but at the moment when we face the experience, we have not mindfulness. We are unmindful. Then we are ignorant and we have to face suffering. The very first experience cannot be controlled. It is just a result of our previous actions. Then, secondly, immediately the second experience arises, the second behavior arises. That is the behavior of ignorance. It means we don't know what happens to the world. Actually, we usually are in this behavior. When we understand someone, when we understand this thing, we think this is a wall, this is life. Actually, then we have gone to the ignorance. But if you are mindful, and also if you are wise, if we completely practice samatha and vipassana at the moment, we are unable to control this one. This one cannot be controlled by even the arahant. It is same for arahant and the ordinary person. But we can control the second one, second behavior. If we are mindful and wise, our experience goes to the behavior of wisdom. Jnanacharya. Jnanacharya. Vijnanacharya, Ajnanacharya and Jnanacharya. We are unable to control Vijnanacharya or the consciousness, the behavior of consciousness. It is just a result of our previous actions. When we are ignorant, our second experience is the behavior of ignorance or delusion. But if we are wise, our second experience is going to wisdom. Then that behavior is the behavior of wisdom. As soon as we go to a mirror, we suddenly know that this is the reflection of mind. We never touch the mirror because of the experience. We are not ignorant in front of the mirror, but everywhere, other places, we are ignorant, we are failed. We meet a person, we suddenly think this is that person that I have experienced before.
So the first one, behavior of consciousness. Can you compare that to the instinct of the animals? But how animal behavior, or this is entirely different?
Actually, this is not just the animal behavior. This is the very primary thing. That is the thing Buddhism says, Sita Vijnana is very pleasant. Pabassaramidam bhikkhave chittam. Tanchako agantukehi upakiritihi upakitam. The very first Consciousness is pure. It is same to everyone. It is same to even animals. But the thing is, when we are ignorant, we don't go to the highest level, we are in ignorance. Then suddenly we think there is something outside. For example, when we go to the mirror with a pet, we suddenly know that the reflection, the cause of reflection is here. We never blame the person who is in the mirror, but the pet who comes with us, it barks at the mirror. Like that. Here also, even though in this level, like actually we are ignorant in first, but because we have heard the Buddha's message, we don't continue on this path. We suddenly stop in the middle and we come back to the wisdom. That is why in one level, because of our sila, our virtue, even though we are angry, we don't go to hit or kill someone. We have a discipline. Still we have ignorance in some levels, but we don't do bad deeds that like other people do, because we have already heard the Buddha's message. We have a benefit, but little by little we control the extremes of thoughts of ignorance because of our practice. One day we will become the highest attitude, dikte mattam. When we see something, suddenly we know this happens at the moment. That is the highest attitude, highest position of this path. But it is difficult to complete at once. That is why little by little we practice to go to that level. We are ignorant in first, but suddenly we correct our misbehaviors little by little. And that is why we need a path. For this understanding, first of all, we are discussing wisdom. Wisdom cannot be in another way divided into three. Sutame jnana, chintame jnana, and bhavaname jnana. The knowledge of listening, the knowledge of reflecting, the knowledge of meditating. First of all, we should need sutame jnana. Now you have heard what happens to our life. That is sutame jnana, the knowledge of listening. Then according to what you are listening to, you reflect on it again and again. When you drive, when you walk, when you sit in a place, you think this process again and again. That is chintame jnana, the knowledge of reflecting or contemplating. And also by practicing samatha and vipassana, the knowledge of meditating, we reach the destination little by little. Sutame jnana, chintame jnana, and bhavaname jnana. The knowledge of listening to, the knowledge of reflecting, the knowledge of meditating. Meditation means practicing samatha and vipassana bhavana, concentration and insight meditation. And finally, we practice samatha and vipassana to the maximum level. That is why you have heard about Kinsokoma Sutta. There is a village, there is a city which has 6 doors and 6 watchers. And there are 2 persons going on a street and entering the door, and they go to the middle of the city and they give a message to the owner of the city. Giving the message to the owner of the city, they come back on the same street. Buddha has explained this example to our life. Our life also like that. If you are wise, if you are mindful, when some experience comes through our eyes, it goes to our mind and it comes back through our eyes, and it doesn't announce us to go to another sense. For example, now when we see something, we think, what I seen, I can catch it in the same way. That is the ignorance. When we see some person, when I go to catch him or her, I am unable to catch this person. I touch the four fundamental elements. When I see your body, Mr. Shan is pronounced, Mr. Shan is proclaimed, is recognized by my mind, not through my eye. My eye recognizes only your shadow, only the color. And also, when I touch you, actually I am unable to touch Mr. Shan, I touch four fundamental elements. But the ordinary people, they think, what I experience, what I see, that I can touch, I can smell, I can taste, like that. For example, our experience is like, when we see water in a basin, when we look at the basin of water, we can see our picture, our shadow. That shadow cannot be touched, cannot be eaten. It is only for my eyes. Our whole experience also like that. In this level, in the highest level of wisdom, we have this experience. Then that is the meaning of what Buddha explained. Bahya Daracharya. Evam hite bahya sikkhitabam. Bahya, you should discipline in this way that whatever you see, that only for your seeing. Whatever you heard, that is only hearing. It cannot be touched by other senses. It is only that sense. But mind has another skill, that mind can catch everything what other senses do. Mind has another skill. That is why when we see some dreams, when we are sleeping, then if someone comes with a white or red color shirt, even though you wake up, you can remember that person has come you with a particular color shirt. Did you see it through your eyes? No. Mind has another skill, that mind can everything what other senses do. However, whatever experience, that experience is instant, but our delusion or ignorance doesn't believe it. It says, it helps us to suffer. It says that before you experience, something was happened. Something is there. Even though you experience something, that remains. Ignorance believes that. Little by little, we struggle with ignorance by developing wisdom, which is the gem of men. Panya naranang ratanam. The wisdom is the priceless gem of men. Panyaya parisuddhati. We receive the purification throughout practicing wisdom. For that, from beginning to end, we should have good association, listening to Dhamma, wise reflection, and practice as Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Virtue, concentration, and wisdom. And with details, the Noble Eightfold Path. Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa, like that. As the result of practicing this path, finally, we find only three things, three characteristics in our life. Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. Impermanence, dissatisfaction and egolessness. The says, Sabbe sankhara anicchati yada panyaya passati atanibbindati dukkhe esamaggo visuddhyati. Everything is impermanent. He who sees this reality with wisdom overcomes suffering. This is the path to purity. You should learn this one by heart. Every day we recite it. Sabbe sankhara dukkhati yada panyaya passati attha nibbindati dukkhe esavaggo visuddhya. Everything is suffering or dissatisfactory. He who sees this reality with wisdom overcomes suffering. This is the path to purity. Again Buddha says, Sabbe dhamma anattati yada panyaya passati attha nibbindati dukkhe esamaggo visuddhya. Every phenomena are impermanent. He who sees this reality with wisdom overcomes suffering. Yes, sorry. Every phenomena are egoless. Very good. He who sees this reality with wisdom overcomes suffering. This is the path to purity. Thank you for correcting. And anicca, dukkha and anatta. Impermanence, dissatisfaction and egolessness. These three things should be realized ultimately. If we have this understanding, we have no struggle with anyone. We are in equanimity. We have no attachment or even detachment.
One question. So our six senses, the mind can control all those senses, right? Like let's say I see something red, but if I want to think that it's white, then I can. Is that what you say?
Actually, in the primary level, we think that we should have control, but finally we don't go to control.
Yeah,
We don't need to control. We are in equanimity. That's the thing. Then finally, Buddha says in the discourse of Indriya Bhavana, when we experience something which is impurity, if we like contemplate on it as impurity, we can do it like that. If we experience something which is impurity, then if we need to contemplate on it as purity, actually we can do it like that. If we need to overcome purity or impurity and become in the equanimity, we can do it. That is the ability or skill of enlightenment person. Finally, we have controlled our mind completely as we want. Then we know very well purity or impurity or not in our sight. It depends on our attitude, our perception. When we change our perception, our sanya, the problem is solved. For example, when someone blames you, in the primary level we think that this is one of my result of my previous karma. Then we have no problem. Then finally we have sute sutamatta. When we hear something, it remains there. It ceases there. Then we have no problem of person.
For all 8 worldly things, that is the way to react to something?
Yes. Attaloka Dhamma. Among the 8 worldly conditions, we have equanimity. And for that, in the primary level, in the mundane level, we should develop our good activities, good karmas, merits to the maximum level as practicing dana, sila and bhavana.
Sometimes if you have that equanimity, can you be happy thinking that, oh, you have wisdom, that is equanimity? Is it okay to be happy like that?
Yes, if we need to be happy, we can be happy. Yeah, if we need to overcome happiness or unhappiness, we can do it too.
Is that wisdom then?
Yes, in the highest level, in the jhana level, there is the equanimity. Equanimity has several stages. In this level, when we think the karmic results, we can become the equanimity. It is one of the equanimity. But Arhantas has another equanimity. It says Sankara Upekha Jnana. When we reflect on arising and ceasing of five aggregates, that is the highest equanimity. That is the highest equanimity. But in this level, for example, if you are stronger than me, when you hit me, I have equanimity. That is also one of the equanimities. But it is not the high level. There is another thing in the jhana level, metta, karuna, mudita, upekha. That is also one of the equanimity. It is a jhana level. But the highest level, the sankara upekha jnana, when we see the arising and ceasing of five aggregates, then we have the equanimity, neutral. We are neutral. That is the highest thing that we should achieve one day by practicing Dhamma, Sila, Samadhi and Panya.
So Arahants are very happy. Always happy. One day a person asked Buddha, Bhante, are you happy? Buddha asked him, why I am happy? What I received through to be happy? Then he asked him, Bhante, are you unhappy? Buddha asked him, what I missed, what I lost to be unhappy? That is the Buddha's answer. I don't know whether you understood what I told. One day a person came to Buddha and asked him, Bhante, are you happy? Then Buddha asked him, what I received to be happy? I didn't receive anything to be happy. Then he asked him, Bhante, are you unhappy? Are you worried? Buddha asked him, why I should be unhappy? I didn't miss anything. I didn't lose anything to be unhappy. That is the Buddha's answer. However, finally, equanimity is highly appreciated in Buddhism. Then, little by little, we go to forward on this path. For that, I wish you all the best. Today, I discussed wisdom, what the Buddha explained in the mundane level and supramundane level. In the mundane level, with the understanding of the karmic law, we should develop our good activities, meritorious deeds to the maximum level as dana, sila and bhavana, generosity, virtue and meditation. As the understanding of the dependent origination, we should develop sila, samadhi, panya, virtue, concentration and wisdom to the maximum level. As the result of practicing three disciplines, we have only thing to reflect on, which are anicca, dukkha and anatta, impermanence, dissatisfaction and egolessness. By the power of all these meritorious deeds, may our departed relatives also rejoice with these merits and may they enhance their spiritual journey and may they also attain the final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's share these merits with our departed relatives. Reciting the Gatha. Idam ne jnātinam hotu sukhita hontu jnātayo. Idam ne jnātinam hotu sukhita hontu. Idam me jnātinam hotu sukhita hontu jnātayo. By the power of all these meritorious deeds, may guardian deities and angels also receive this spiritual energy. May they enhance their divine energy. May they keep their eye on you too. May they also attain the final bliss of Nibbana. With that intention, let's share these merits with guardian deities and angels too. Ākāsattā ca bummattā devā nāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu sāsanam. Ākāsattā ca bummattā devā nāgā
Punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu desanam Akasattha ca bummatta deva naga mahiddhika Punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu tvang sada. By the power of all these meritorious deeds, may all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them, may no problems come to them, may no difficulties come to them. Finally, may all of us attain the final bliss of Nibbana. Dukkhapatta ca niddukkha, bhayapatta ca nidbhaya, sokam patta ca nissokha, honto sambe pipanino. May the triple gem bless you.